Hey, Steve here from the Community Lounge. So you've been invited on the podcast and you want to know what to expect? That's what I'm going to tell you here very briefly. First and foremost, being on the podcast is a chance for you to tell your story. As community managers, you often don't get the chance to publicly tell your story. Often that privilege is reserved for studio heads, lead developers, product directors. Well, we're changing that. This is your chance to tell your story publicly exactly the way you want to tell it. It's up to you exactly in how much detail you go into, where you start. You might want to tell about your first experience playing on a console with an older brother or sister or with a parent and how that gave you an all-time love for computer games and how you knew that's what you wanted to do all through your childhood. You wanted to work in the industry, or maybe you came at it as an adult from moving from another career. Whatever you want to tell, you can tell it and I will support you in that and guide you through telling the story. We record and publish both audio and video. The video goes on YouTube and the audio goes into all the typical podcast listening tools. So keep that in mind. Make sure that when we're recording, the background appears the way you want it to appear. I obviously haven't paid too much attention to that right now. You can probably see that I've got a window open there with the curtain blowing and my bicycle in the background. So pay attention to that. Everything is edited by a professional audio editor. We want to make you sound as good as possible. This whole thing is about making you appear and sound and present as well as we possibly can. On that topic, if there's anything you say during the recording that you want unsaid, you just let me know, either when you say it or later, and we'll get it removed. The typical questions we ask are, what was your path into becoming a community manager? What's a memorable, positive experience you have as a community manager? What challenges do you face in your job? Where do you learn how to do your job better? What tips do you have for first-time community managers? What tips do you have for people wanting to become a community manager? But we'll also discuss anything special you'd like to talk about. You just have to let me know beforehand and I'll make sure we make time for that. So this might be a project or an organization you're part of that's not part of your day-to-day job, but is important to you and you'd like to talk about it. Let's move on to equipment. Headphones, please. This will make sure we get the best possible quality recording of your voice without sound bleeding in from what's coming out from a microphone, from a speaker. So headphones, please. A microphone, if you can, ideally it's one that's wired and not Bluetooth. Look, if we have to, we'll use a computer's mic, but much better is a proper microphone. And best of all is a wired microphone if you have one. Nerves. Let's talk about nerves. It's completely normal to be nervous. Most guests are a bit nervous at first, even those with experience streaming and so on. Look, I don't bite. We're in this together. I'm on your side, and I'm going to do my best to make this as pleasant as possible. If it helps, I have to admit that I get a bit nervous too before every single episode, and I've done more than 100 podcasts as either a guest or a host. It's just part of the experience of doing a podcast recording. Remember, we are on the same team. If it helps, imagine it's like a casual chat at a pub or a cafe or a games event meetup. And I do think the nerves actually brings out the best in us to a degree. It makes sure that we're really concentrated on what we're doing and we're not coming into it too casually. Here's a little trick to help with the nerves. You will know in advance what the first question is going to be. I'm going to tell you, like it will be in the information I share before we start recording. Write it down if you have to. Have it in front of you. Or practice saying it over and over a few times so that it's natural and you know what you want to say. Getting that first question answered and nailing it really sets you up to feeling far more relaxed throughout the rest of the recording. We're going to record for about 35 to 45 minutes, and that typically gives us 30-ish minutes of good content. There's usually something that we need to remove, like I waffle some point, or you go off on a tangent and we realize it doesn't add to the overall podcast, or maybe there's some bit where we slip up and we want to re-record, or there's something you want to get removed from it. So allow up to 45 minutes of recording time. But like I said, that usually gets cut down to about 30 minutes. Oh, and you'll be surprised how quickly that goes. Almost every guest tells me when I do the wrapping up announcement, we're almost out of time. Almost every guest tells me afterwards, I was surprised how quickly that came. I thought we had only just got started. Hey, you're going to nail this, and I'm really grateful for you coming on the show. You're doing me a favor. It's a good opportunity for you, and we're going to work together to make this as good as we possibly can. Thanks. Bye.